we'll have an opportunity to, I don't know, we'll figure it out. All right, here we go. Hello, and welcome to Future Commerce, the podcast about cutting edge and next generation commerce, whatever that means anymore. I'm Philip.
I'm Brian.
I'm Jake from
Hey,
Klaviyo.
Jake, welcome. We finally get
Thank
a
you very
Klaviyo
much.
on the show.
Yeah, excited to be here.
I love it.
We're excited to have you.
Yeah. You're doing some really interesting work right now. We want to kind of jump into it, but for those who don't know you, who are you? What do you do?
Sure. Jake Cohen again. I lead product marketing for Klaviyo. If you haven't heard of Klaviyo, we provide marketing tools to e-commerce brands around the world to help them grow and have more relevant communication with their customers across any channel you desire. I specifically work on making sure that we're listening to our customers, understanding what matters to them, and then creating both the messaging, the content, the stories, and then the product that's going to help them succeed.
Yeah,
awesome.
Wow, you've got the pitch in your back pocket.
Yeah,
That's great. People ask me like, "What do you do?" And I'm like,
Oh, now you got it.
Well, it's great. And Klaviyo has been a great partner of ours here at Future Commerce
Yes.
for a long time now, a better part of a year. So love the whole team, love what you guys are doing. What are you doing right now? I know marketing changed a whole lot in the last
I've been seeing your face a lot lately.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, we're paying attention. And for those who haven't been, you should be checking out. Jake's doing these like daily check-ins and like taking the pulse of what's going on in e-commerce and in the world of in marketing, especially right now. So yeah, tell us about that and tell us what you guys are doing to help brands who might be looking for some advice or some guidance right now.
Yeah. So, gosh, we're doing a lot. And in fact, the listeners and viewers don't know, I showed up a couple minutes late. Sorry. The reason though was because we've built we basically spun up a news organization in about 3 days. So we repurposed 15 people internally to go, across the globe to figure out what is happening out there, because things are changing.
Wow.
Not by the week, by the hour. And so we're literally all day talking with folks all over the world. We've administered surveys both to brands to understand how they're evolving with the new time, and to consumers to try and predict where spending is going so that we can share that with brands in advance so they can adjust ahead of time and bring it back every single day. And
Wow.
So I was working with that team getting that going. But it's been amazing. We started this about 11 days ago when everyone suddenly was working from home. And we said, marketing as usual, business as usual probably isn't right. If we're going to be true to our mission and provide value to our customers that help them grow, what can we do differently? And we believe that we had to answer two fundamental questions every single day. Number one, what is going on? What is happening in the world? And number two, what should I do about it? And so what we've basically done is we repurposed half of the marketing team to spend time going out, talking to brands and collecting insights through a survey, which we hope everyone will fill out every day, telling us things like, what's happening to your web traffic? What about your conversion rate? Are you spending more or less on ads? Are you seeing changes in your supply chain? Is your shipping delayed? How are you feeling? What are you worried about? Things like that. And then we spun up a whole bunch of folks on the consumer side to ask consumers, what are you buying? What did you buy? What are you planning on buying? Are you spending more or less? Things like that. And then, so that's one half. And then we repurposed half of our entire support organization to spin up a bunch of content, guides, tutorials of what you can do to practically address the changes that are happening every single day.
Yeah.
And I'm actually excited to share with you, I don't know if anyone knows this yet, literally in the next probably 48 hours, we're publishing a new area of our website, 100% dedicated to this effort, which is going to effectively be like a news site where you can see what's been trending day over day, but then you can also go discover content based on how your brand is performing and take advantage of what we're seeing work in the world so that you can have a better chance of surviving today and thriving tomorrow.
Wow. Well, it's to be commended that you can be nimble enough to repurpose a bunch of the parts of your organization to provide value that's beyond just here's the tools in our platform, go to work. Because I think that's really what we usually see from, technology assistants in marketing, or like,
Right.
marketing technology stacks, you don't usually get the good advice, which is like, or at least the gut check or a temperature check of what others are doing or what they're seeing, which I think is a stronger play towards trying to create community amongst your your customers, which, man, that's hard to do. And it's to be commended.
Good chunk of me thinks that this is what we should have been doing as software marketing organizations all along, right? Is going out and getting this data and then making everyone aware about it.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, how do you feel like, as we come out of COVID, and I don't know how long it's going to be. I'm not saying that we are.
Nobody does.
Nobody does, right? What do you think how's this going to change your team for the future and ongoing marketing efforts?
That's a really good question. The line from politics that everyone jokes about is never let a good crisis go to waste, right?
Right.
I think that was in the context of politics, maybe had more nefarious intent. For us, I think it was a motivating opportunity. Everyone always has, it would be great if we could just get some data and share it, tell people what to do. But, the truth about humans is it takes triggers to get us to have action. And this is the fundamental truth of marketing. And so I think for us, what we're doing isn't novel. It's the sort of thesis of what it means to provide value from content. But we had this moment where we're like, you know what? Now is the time. People need our help. We need to go. And so we just did. And I think, I don't know, but I think what will happen is I think this will work. We've been getting wonderful feedback from people. We're not perfect. This is so quick and dirty. There's mistakes everywhere. But people have been, forgiving and understanding and giving us great feedback. We're improving by the hour. And I think this is something that, may really last. We're starting to build tooling that is going to dig into our data set of our customers and provide these snapshot views based off what we're seeing. So here's an insight we found, for example. In talking to consumers, it turns out that they're buying the traditional way of breaking up what they would buy as essentials and non-essentials, right? Where it's like, I need food, and then there's everything else. But it turns out, because everyone's been forced into these new environments, there's actually a category that we're dubbing new essentials. Because their life has changed, they need new things. And so there's like food, bev, cool, that's sort of essentials. Jewelry, luxuries, maybe non-essentials. But there's kind of this middle category of like, I need office supplies because I'm working from home. I need health and fitness equipment because I can't go to the gym. I need pet food to feed my animals. We're actually hearing people want to go buy pets so they have community at home. There's a whole section of stuff that people are really buying now. And so we're building tools internally to dig through our data to categorize our customers against these segments, to understand how sales are trending over time so that we can share with brands, okay, let's say you were selling, I don't know, keychains that people don't need. Can you, with this understanding of what people are buying today and tomorrow, perhaps adjust how you package that or position that? Could you partner with other brands to build a sort of cohesive package of things that people need in this new world? These types of insights are valuable. So I suspect as we've built this stuff, it will exist. We will keep track of trends. They will evolve. There will always be new strategies to take advantage of as things change. So I hope that we do a good enough job that it continues to provide value and we can make it a sort of mainstay that people can use day in and day out as they think about how to grow their business.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
It's hard to learn to publish content, on a daily basis. It's hard as an organization to externalize the things you're learning and just kind of be okay. Especially, not for nothing, Klaviyo has a lot of customers, and you have a not trivial amount of money that's been invested in the business to grow it. And I think the working it out in the open takes a certain kind of leadership team to see the value in that. And it takes a certain type of environment in the world at the moment to be okay with that. And so bravo. I think it's just really tough to do. You talk about like this consortium or this idea of brands coming together or businesses coming together in partnership. I know you and I had recently done a webinar together with the integrated commerce growth stack, which is Yotpo, Klaviyo, Nosto. And sort of you came together to create insights for consumer research so that we can understand as e-commerce businesses how to better deliver experiences. But it seems like outside of just doing that as like marketing pieces or ways to engage with new potential customers, this is actually driving real value like across your own customer base. And right now is when you're learning to be a media organization. Gosh, when this all passes, that is the differentiator amongst businesses that have like learned something in this time. And I think that, yeah, I can't keep patting you on the back. I really have nothing to add other than to say, good job.
I saw this great tweet recently, and back to your point about digital transformation. It was like, main driver of digital transformation in 2020.
Yep.
CEO, CTO, COVID. It's true.
COVID-19,
like it takes an absolute it's something that to kind of kick you a little bit to get people to move sometimes.
And
pain
one thing
can cause change.
100%. One thing I can also share, which is kind of a tip of the hat to our team, but it's also something for other people that are seeking to do something remotely similar. These are things that kind of worked and didn't work for us. So one unfair advantage that we had in this is obviously we have incredible people that work at our company who are like stupendous. So that's unfair. The other thing is we recently dusted off our values. And one of the values that Andrew, our CEO, helped sort of accentuate is that we work publicly. That's more of an internal thing because we want it to be possible for people to see what others are doing and share ideas and get going. But just that ethos of like, look, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just go, right? Just keep working on it. That helped. And then the other thing is we had a very strong endorsement across the entire organization that the thing to do is like, forget our business for a second. Our mission is to help businesses grow. What do they need right now? Let's just do that. And we sort of just said speed over perfection. Quality, it has to be there, but speed over perfection. Acknowledge that we'll have problems, acknowledge that we'll have mistakes, accept that we'll get better every day, but just keep going. And that, like, establishing that first thing gave people the permission to say, you know what?
Yes.
Let's ship and move on. Because everyone knows when you're editing or when you're thinking about writing and you have writer's block and you're like, oh my God, this isn't as good as that thing that we spent 3 months on. It is beautiful and amazing. I can't let this go out. And you're like, well, you have to, because we got to go. And I think the team really embodied that, and it's given us the permission and space to improve. And that my God, this started, sorry, I'm ranting. This started 11 days ago with an idea from the team asking the question, should we be doing something different? And we are now on track to be publishing 15 pieces of content about what's going on, 15 pieces of content of what you should do, and then categorizing that based on segments of our customers so that it's relevant to them in 11 days. Like, that is so exciting and fun.
What are some, I know that this will become dated because literally every day is different, and we have experienced it ourselves on the show.
This afternoon it'll all be different.
I know, exactly. So I feel like we have to timestamp things. It's Wednesday, April 1st at 10 a.m. or so.
Yes.
At this moment, what are some of the insights that you've seen day to day on those daily surveys that you're distilling, and what is a trend line if you had to pull one out?
All right. Oh, there are so many. So after this, the thing I'm doing is taking the insights from the day and distilling them into the sort of story. So I will literally look at today, right now, and I will call out what I think the stories will be.
Great. Yeah.
So I'm now looking at, we have a brand focused survey and conversations and a consumer focused survey and conversations, which I pull and stitch together. So where am I? I'm on the brand one. So in the brand one, we are seeing, number one, an increased trend of more brands reporting that sales are going up. So a week and a half ago, it was about 15, 20% of brands reported sales going up. Now it's over 25, 30%. So that's improving. We're seeing, in particular, health and fitness and beauty and cosmetic brands continue to be strong. I think it's part of this new essential category. People need to feel healthy and want to maintain their routine, which we're hearing the same on the consumer side. And we're seeing a steady increase in brands reporting issues with their supply chain, in particular, delays in shipping and delays in fulfillment. One of the things that we learned was when this started, China warehouses were basically shut down and not shipping. They're back up and mostly operational. American warehouses were fully performant and are still open, mostly with the exception of brand-owned warehouses sometimes shut down. Kylie Cosmetics, ColourPop temporarily closed theirs. But fulfillment centers are going above and beyond to keep the lights on and to ship as much as possible. And so we actually did a deep dive on the space last week to figure out from the perspective of fulfillment centers, what is the right thing to do? What are they seeing? What are they expecting? And like, they're crazy. They're doing wonderful things like taking everyone's temperature when they walk in the door, setting a certain quote of how many times you have to wash your hand, setting a limit of how many people can work within a specific brand's inventory so that it's maintained safe, so that they always have staff who can work. And of course, states are making sure that warehouse and fulfillment centers are dubbed essential businesses such that you can still have.
Yep, I lost Jake. Jake. There we go.
Sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead. Essential businesses, you said.
Where did I cut out?
Yeah. Warehouses as essential businesses.
Oh, can you hear us, Jake?
Hold on. I'm going to call in so that I don't get dropped.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, and your audio quality is stunning now.
Are you being facetious?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Jake is rejoining us from the phone because Zoom is very fluid at the moment. But you were saying that there's essential businesses designating warehouses as essential businesses.
Yeah, exactly. And so what that means is, one of the concerns that we heard from a lot of brands in the last 2 weeks is, hey, what happens if my warehouse goes away? Like I'm screwed. And the reassuring point is they're not gonna. So we did a deep dive on this last week, published a long form piece. We're doing 2 or 3 long forms each week where we're diving into related sectors that affect brands so they can anticipate what's coming. And we did one on shipping and logistics and, interviewed the CMO of ShipBob and talked to shipping providers to understand from their perspective, what are you seeing? What are you doing? What should brands do to partner well with you? So an unexpected insight that we derived from that was if your sales are going up, which roughly half of brands are, and when they're up like 200% to 1,000%. It's not small, it's like huge. Your volume will go up. If your volume is going to go up, call your warehouse, call your shipping providers and tell them so that they can make sure that they balance their staff and their resources to support you. Otherwise, you will have delays because they're not prepared for it. I'm not in it every day. Perhaps every brand already knew that, but I thought that was an interesting sort of tactic and tip to be aware of. On the consumer side, we have some very interesting cuts that are coming. So spending on apparel and accessories has been one of the hardest hit categories over the past 2 weeks. We heard reports from brands that were down, 80% month over month.
Wow.
And we're seeing spending on apparel and accessories come back. In particular, if it's accessories and apparel related to fitness or workout clothing, and in particular, if it's like comfortable clothing, sweats and things like that. Why? People working from home, the new essentials. So what's also interesting about that is we're starting to ask consumers where they buy. Is it Amazon, major retailer, or independent retailer? And among apparel and accessory spending, a majority of, or I should say, the largest bucket, about 50% of people who report spending on apparel and accessories are buying them from independent retailers. not Amazon, not the big retailers. There's a lot of reasons why that could be true, but regardless, that's a different trend than we see in a lot of other categories where people tend to go to Amazon first because they know exactly what they want and they want to get it fast and whatever else. We're also seeing, initially in the first week, over 50% of people reported spending more than double what they normally spend. And we're seeing that increase in spending is starting to subside. We think that was a frenzy to buy essentials. And we think now that people are still spending the same or more, roughly, but they're moving to more, new essential categories. They're helping their lives at home be more comfortable.
Yeah, we have to remember it's only been a few weeks since we've been in this. And so
not even two.
Yeah.
Not even two.
Yeah.
March is the longest year of my life.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
April's going to be...
It's April, everybody. March is over. It's a trending tweet right now. Twitter's
right.
like, it's not March, everybody.
Yeah, right. All right.
But those are kind of the trends as you see them now. What's if, we're called Future Commerce and we've got a couple minutes left. We usually ask folks like you to look into the crystal ball a little bit. And I know that this is, hazardous at the moment and, will not hold up or age well. But what do you think we can expect to see in the next week or two as things kind of unfold? And, let's say that the social distancing order here, at least in the United States, certainly is extended now till the beginning of May. What are things that we could prepare for on the brand side?
So I've spent, as you might imagine, a ton of time thinking about this. I've built models. I've got all sorts of crazy stuff, which on another time we can really geek out. I have a driving hypothesis on how spending is going to work, and I only have the most dorky way to describe it in the world. So I would love help figuring out how to describe this in a way that makes more sense. But I'll tell you in the way that works in my head. Are you guys familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So just as a quick recap for listeners out there, Abe Maslow was a psychologist and sociologist from the middle of the 1900s. Wonderful. He coined this philosophy, which was the hierarchy of needs, which is seeking to drive for normal humans what prioritizes what we care about. And at the bottom of the rung is security, safety, food, shelter, things like that. And at the topmost rung is what he calls self-actualization, which is when we feel comfortable enough to be ourselves and do what makes us most happy. So that's that. So the way I've been thinking about spending is actually following Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Because our environment's changed, we started working from home. The more dramatic way of looking at it is like, what if there was a giant meteor and all the buildings went away? What would you do? You need to find a home, right? And so obviously, thankfully, it was not so bad, but people immediately sought to establish food, shelter, and security. Very first thing. And so what happened? Toilet paper you couldn't buy in the store, run on water, grocery stores, huge lines out the window, Purell sold out, now going for $70 for a travel kit, right? All those things that people needed in order to feel good. Then what happened? A surge of Zoom. Everybody wanted to understand, what everyone else was doing, and they wanted to connect. Belonging is the next rung. They wanted to be associated with each other and feel like they're part of a community. And so people started buying office equipment to make sure that they could connect and do their work from home. They started buying they spent time that way. The next rung is about esteem. And I think we're seeing that spending happening right now. This is where health and fitness comes in. I want to feel good about myself. This is where daily routines come in. This is beauty and cosmetics. This is where, frankly, working from home too. I want to still feel accomplished and like I can do something. All of that spending is happening now, and increasing. Consumers keep telling us, oh man, all I want to do is like maintain a normal life, right? The next thing that's going to happen, and we're starting to see a little bit of this, comes into self-actualization, which is creative projects and entertainment. And so we're seeing an uptick in spending on toys and games. We're seeing an uptick on spending on, to some extent, electronics. We're seeing an uptick on spending on housewares for cooking because people want to try more complex dishes. Basically, all these things that are more creative endeavors that basically help you feel less bored. We're seeing more spending on that if you don't have kids. Now, if you have kids, different ball. I have kids. Different ball game. You're basically in survival mode the whole time and making sure that your kids are entertained. But if you don't have kids, which is the majority of the population, you want to be entertained. And so I came up with this idea about a week ago, and I'm like, how does this work? But it feels like it's starting to pan out. So my predictions are apparel and accessories are going to continue to go up in fulfillment of esteem-based things. So I want to feel comfortable. I want to be able to work out. I think health and fitness is going to continue at home, maintaining traditional regimens of health and beauty and cosmetics or supplements or whatever. That's all going to maintain. The spending will be solid there. I think we're going to see an uptick in toys and games. I think we're seeing an uptick in entertainment. I think we're going to see an uptick in people being online, engaging with brands if it's fun. So if you're not selling something that people want, but you're creating content that's fun to engage with and interact with, I guarantee you're going to see more engagement, more people staying connected. It's an opportunity to grow your list. So when you come out and people free up their spending on different categories, they're going to come back. That's where I think all this is going to go in the next 3 weeks. And this is a little pessimistic, but I'm not so sure that we're going to be business as usual on May 4th. When all this stuff shuts down. It may be a little bit longer than that, which is going to just further accentuate this trend up the hierarchy.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you. And I really appreciate how transparent and honest and open that you guys have been. I really appreciate you coming on the show in such a hurry. We put this together in 24 hours, which is unusual for us. And I appreciate that you're willing to sacrifice perfect in pursuit of, transparent and openness and, fast, quicker insights to merchants who need that kind of information right now. Where can people find you, Jake? Where can they get that content and those daily briefs?
Yeah, so if you go to Klaviyo.com, there's a header bar right at the top that you can click on. It's going to take you to the dedicated site where all this content lives. And if you wait 5 seconds on the bottom right, there's going to be a little pop-up where you can fill out the survey and tell us what's happening with you so that we can aggregate those insights and share them back. I'll also say my email address is jake.cohen@klaviyo.com. I would kill for feedback. I've been asking everyone, what's one thing you like about what we're doing and what's one thing you think could be better? And if we could get one great idea every day that we put into practice, it's just going to get so much better for all of you. So again, Klaviyo.com, you'll see all the pointers you need. And please feel free to email me, or I'm pretty active on Twitter. My handle is JFC Cohen. We'd love the feedback, and we'd love to keep getting better every day for all of you.
Well, thank you so much. Jake Cohen from Klaviyo. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.